Hey everybody, welcome back to Painted Plastic. Brandon here. I know I said the next video would be priming and pre-shading and all of that, and it will. But I wanted to do a little quick video here about greeblies. Greeblies are a lot of fun. Just as an example, this is the backpack, right? And as you can see, I added a little hose on top, little you don't know what it is, you know, it just adds a little bit of interest. Put a little panel here, right? Little things like that. This is the knee armor. I added a little something. I don't know what it is. Don't, you know, you can call it whatever you want. Where do they come from? Well, these particular parts, I've got a couple here, got a couple in my box. I rummaged through an old Star Wars kit, and they had all these little neat parts, right? Little, just, you know, little technical bits. I really wanted to use these little circles. They're kind of neat. I did use these on the chest. So you can see there I added a little, you know, they're just little details, right? And you can grab them off any old kit. Like I said, these are out of an old Star Wars kit that I either never finished or, yeah, sorry George. But yeah, so I wanted to pop on and just show you kind of how this works. I really wanted to use this one, but I couldn't find a good place for it. So anyway, but as far as the ankle armor, I use this little bit, and so, you know, I kind of want them to be opposite. So like that one's painting this way, or is pointing this direction. I want this one to be pointing that direction, right? So in the end, they'll look like that on the feet. So how do we do it? Well, you just get your part, and I've got two glues here. I've got the, let me get this stuff out of the way. Got the extra thin Tamiya, and then the regular thick. The way I start is I'll use the full thick glue, and I'll just put a little dab right on the end, right? The reason I use the thick glue first is because it gives you a little bit longer working time. So then you can put the part on and kind of just roughly where you want it, you know. Kind of get it, you know, get it in the general place you want it, right? And that thick glue, it doesn't set up as quickly as the thin. So as you can see, I'm still able to move the part around a little bit, kind of position it exactly where I want it while that glue is still workable, right? And that looks pretty good. Even with the other one, maybe a little bit more to the center. There we go. Something about like that, right? And I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, the panels are different all over the kit. So once you get it in place, you get into your extra thin, and this will seep all around the part, all into the corners. So you get a little bit of that and just touch it, and it will actually draw into the part, right? And all the little gaps and nooks and crannies. And this will actually, you know, bond the part, or bond the greebly to your part. The other nice thing about extra thin is there won't be a whole lot of gloopy, you know, glue bumps when you're all done. It'll kind of self-level, and when you're all finished, you can, you know, maybe lightly sand it, but you won't have to really work it very hard. Now for this one, I don't know if you can see, but there's a tiny, tiny, tiny little gap between, can you even see that? I don't know if it's even focusing. Can you see the little gap between the parts? To fill that, I'm going to go back to my thick cement and just kind of dab it right where that little bump is. And what that'll do is fill in that little gap, so when we prime and paint, there won't be any holes between the parts. It'll all look like one part, just like that. Right, can you see that? Now that glue has, is it focusing? Yeah. Now that glue has filled those tiny little bumps. And when that dries, like I said, we'll have to sand a little teeny bit, just a little bit. But largely that will all be covered. I am going to try to get some of that glue off of the top. I don't want to destroy any of the details, of course. But yeah, so that's greeblies. And like I said, I've added a few here and there. I know I mentioned in one, I can't remember what video it was, but I mentioned that I didn't want these holes in both of the arms. One is for the shield, and I want to keep that, but the other one I don't want, right? Well, instead of cutting a piece and putting it over top, what I did was I took my heavy-duty sandpaper, made a little cone, and just went inside, hollowed that out, and I found this part, which you know, I don't remember what this came. This either came from like a snow speeder, maybe. I don't know. Maybe a snow speeder or a Y-wing. I don't know. Anyway, but the neat thing is this is the perfect size to drop on the floor. This is the perfect size to fit right in that hole. So that will cover that little hole. If you can see, I just push it in. Look at that. How cool is that? Fits right in the hole, covers that little bit, and it's a little, you know, it's a little technical detail on the back of the arm. Maybe it's a thruster. Who knows, you know? A little extra thin, right around the edge. We'll hold it in place. Really, you probably don't even need to because, you know, I left that poly cap in there for the shield. So really there's plenty of friction. It would never come out. But I'm going to glue it just in case, you know. But we glue that in. And so that's done. Now our hole is filled. We don't have that. You know, like I said, I wanted to keep this one for the shield. Don't need this one. But that, isn't that, you know, it's perfect. You know, and it's just a little part out of an old kit I got laying on the floor over here, you know. The other one that I did was the foot. This little piece here, it's actually the toe of an AT-AT walker. It's a, what scale is it? I don't even know what scale it is. Small. It's a small AT-AT, so small that I didn't even bother painting it or anything. And all I did was just take the foot and cut off this little, this is where the foot would attach to, or the toe would attach to the foot. Just nip that right off, right? And sand and stick. Just like that, just clean it up a little bit. All the primer and everything is going to cover all this, so you don't have to worry about it too much as long as it's smooth. And just give it a little rough with the, this is my smooth side. Am I even on camera? Oh, where'd you go? Where? Really? It disappeared, y'all. I shot it into oblivion, apparently. Where'd it go? Is that it? There it is. Okay. Alright. Going too fast. Let's try this again. Glue on the right side. Little dab of glue right on the back. And we will set it in place roughly where we want it. And adjust it ever so slightly. Just to get it, you know, I mean, I say it doesn't have to be perfect, but, you know, we all know it does. So, compare it to the other one. That doesn't look too bad. I think it's a little bit off to the right. There we go. That looks pretty good, right? There we go. Take our thin, just right around the edge. Just a dab. It doesn't take much. And that part will be on there forever. So when we go to do our primer, there we go. Just like that. And just like that, we've got some greeblies here and there. Like I said, give it a try, guys. I mentioned in one of the videos saving your sprues, and and I played with this a little bit. I made I don't know, I made a part somewhere, and I just didn't like it, so I didn't use it. But yeah, all these little things. The thing on the backpack is actually this. It came off of something, I don't know. But I cut that end off, right? That's that end of this piece, this little bit right here. I just cut it in half, sand it down on the back a little bit. The little tubes, they came from another Star Wars kit. I don't know. I'm butchering up all my Star Wars kits, guys. But yeah, they're just little hoses, and that adds a little interest. So give it a try. If you've got some kits laying around that you haven't finished, or you're not planning on doing anything with, grab the little parts. There's little things like this everywhere. Grab them, have some fun, put them on. All right, well, that's going to do it for episode 1.5. Like I said, the next episode will be priming. We're going to do some pre-shading, and we're going to have some more fun. So be sure to tune in. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little while, and give this a try. It's a lot of fun. See you on the next episode.